So the last day of the biathlon season is upon us. 2 mass starts. The women going first. Could be 2 fantastic races. Very, very disappointing that Magdalena Neuner felt she had to pull out of the Pursuit race yesterday, which effectively has ruled her out of the race for the overall standings. She's more than 60 points behind, and with every race counting this season, she cannot win it. And I just wonder whether she banked on the fact that Mäkäräinen would finish outside the top 10, and then therefore she'd have a chance. But it's not the way it's turned out. Mäkäräinen in the hot seat to win this one. She's got a good, comfortable margin over the rest of the field. But Tora Berger, Henkel, Kuzmina, of course, will all want to win the last race of the year.
Yeah, in a sense, for those who are not going for the title, the pressure is off. They know it's the end of the season. Kuzmina said that yesterday. She felt more relaxed. But for Mäkäräinen, she'll want to finish this to look decisive on the final day of the World Cup season.
Yeah, I think if Neuner had been around yesterday, Mike, then a lot of those who made mistakes on the last shoot wouldn't have been under the same sort of pressure. Gusner, I'm sure she wouldn't have thrown it away on the last shoot because she was suddenly in a position to win a race. If Neuner had been there and out front, because from our calculations, she could easily have missed 6 and still won. She probably could have missed 7 and still won the race. So it does change the dynamics.
It is strange. I am surprised she didn't. I know she wasn't 100%. She said that the day before, where she did the race on Thursday and did so well. But she could, I'm quite sure, have done it yesterday. But she made her choices, and that's the way it goes.
So the crowd ready to go. You're back from Falun. Good to have you back for the last day of the season. How do the Swedish fans compare to the Norwegians?
Well, the Norwegians are definitely passionate, but I must say the Swedes as well. They were out there in numbers, and they love their cross-country skiing. I'm not sure they like so much one of the Norwegians in particular in the men's field.
They're all waiting to see Peder Northug get beaten. That comes later on this afternoon in Sweden, but now we're going to focus our attention on the mass start and the biathlon. Welcome back to Oslo. I hope you've got a big cup of coffee ready, because you won't want to be leaving your seats over the next 40 minutes or so. The race for the women's title. Kaisa Mäkäräinen of Finland, very much the favourite to claim it. But we saw on Thursday exactly what happens when the World Cup pressure applies. And to me, it looked as though they were struggling more than they do in the World Championships, more than they do in the Olympic Games. And there she is, once again, starting to look apprehensive.
Yeah, it's such a big moment for Mäkäräinen, for Finnish biathlon as well. They have had such little funding, and she's done so well this season.
Here's the woman chasing her down.
On the other hand, Tora Berger looking so relaxed.
Yeah, well, Mäkäräinen only needs to finish in the top 21. There are only 30 competitors today. Helena Ekholm, I feel, has blown her chance of becoming this year's champion, although statistically she can still win it. I think the mistakes came thick and fast in the sprint event in particular. Nice to see Neuner back. She didn't race yesterday. I don't quite get it, Mike. When you're ill enough not to race, how come 24 hours later you're ready to go again?
It's incredible, but she also won on Thursday. She did say at the press conference later that she didn't feel good that day. She was amazed that she won.
Yeah, she still sounds a bit croaky, but if you're going to race today, why didn't she race yesterday and keep the race alive? We're not to know. Certainly they're not going to impart that sort of knowledge, just like they keep their waxing absolutely top secret because they invest so much money in it. Why give it to a journalist for one? Who'll tell everyone else, but you don't want the other teams finding out if you do have a little secret. So the top ladies all on that front rank. Of course, the top 30 in the rankings entitled to race. No medal winners to get automatic places, no current form athletes to get places. This is the top 30 from the season. Tora Berger, sensational year that she's had, and Ekholm alongside her. She's already won the overall title. She won't get it this year unless something catastrophic happens to both, of course, Mäkäräinen and Berger. Andrea Henkel, long-time servant for the German team, winner of the overall in 2007. Two-time winner, Magdalena Neuner, has thrown away her chance by withdrawing from yesterday's pursuit. Daria Tomrecheva, great second place yesterday. Good shooting, good skiing, looked much more relaxed. The French relying on Marie Taurin. Brunet, incidentally, has withdrawn from today's race, along with Chil and Romanova. So moments to go before the last race of the season. There's yesterday's winner, Anastasia Kuzmina, and alongside her, Anna-Karin Zidek. She's been around many, many years, never won the overall. She's been second many times, third this season. She's dropped down to 10th position, and in fact might be struggling to finish in the top 10 at the end of today. We'll see how she gets on. So the top 10 in the world, all here. 12.5 kilometers the distance, 4 chutes as always. Good to see Haley Johnson of USA alongside Sarah Studebaker. Good advances for the American women's team. Away they go. Mike, early predictions as to how this one is going to pan out. What I'm really interested to know is Mäkinen and Berger going to be able to hold their nerve.
That's an interesting... It was strange just listening to what the athletes were saying yesterday. That it had been such a long season. Henkel said her concentration just wasn't there. The same with Kuzmina, although she won it, she said, I found it so difficult to concentrate on her shooting. I think with Neuner having had the day off yesterday, she's the one to chase.
Yeah, do you think it's the heat of spring that's got to them, or the fact that Oslo represents the end of the year and party time?
I think there's an element of that. Well, we maybe saw some of that in Siberia, and quite right, it's been a long, and it is always a very tough season with all these races. What, 26 individual races, all the relays as well, then some guest races, national championships, so up to 35 races. Since the beginning of December, these athletes have taken part in. So pressures are now beginning to come off, and concentration beginning to fade a little for some.
Well, just in case you're wanting to know when the men's race is, their last race of the season starts in exactly 2 hours' time. So we go off at, 1500 in the UK. If you're on European time, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Mäkinen with an early lead. Now, we did promise you we'd do a little bit of homework as to who would have won the Tour this year, or who would be leading if they had applied the FIS system of scoring, which is 100 points for first, 80 for second, 60 for third. That weights it slightly more to those who win races, as opposed to those who consistently finish in 4th and 5th. Now, it takes an age to work it out. So I'm afraid I've cut my homework short. I've only done it for the top 2 in the World Cup standings. And I can tell you that Kaisa Mäkinen would have finished the season, or would be currently sitting on 1,193 points, which really isn't that many considering she's on 979 with the current system. Tora Berger would have been on 1,222. So Tora Berger, who's lying in second, would actually have been lying in top spot, and that really would be on the back of those 4 victories that she had between the 15th and the 23rd of January, when she was on sensationally good form.
Well, that's really interesting, and the FIS rewarding victories, and as you say, Tora Berger, she's had 6 this season. She may well get her 7th today, and you know, most races you rewarded for winning by a margin, not just by 4 points, as we see in biathlon.
I'm all for that, but I also quite enjoy the fact that yesterday there were still 5 women who could win the overall title. Today, there are still 4 women who could win the overall title. Mäkinen, Berger, Ekholm and Henkel with a very outside chance. I wouldn't put too much money on it, but statistically they can still win. It's a rare season when that happens, but it would not happen with the FIS system.
It wouldn't, and when you look at Falun and Petter Northug about to start later today in first place by a huge margin, when he's at the races, he's winning them, but Dario Colonia is clearly the winner of the overall coveted prize this season, the best overall cross-country racer for the 4-month racing season. But just this track, Patrick, this is the same tracks and the same 2.5 kilometer track as we saw used so many times at the World Championships. We're coming up now, well, flat this section over the bridge, and then it's quite a fast descent before the right-hander on the final climb up towards the stadium. They really are taking this as some lick. I thought it would be a little tactical over this first part of the race, but absolutely not. It's an all-out pace.
Well, it only takes one athlete to decide their best chances to ski fast. There are 2 Symirienko twins, one behind the other. I can tell you that Valias Symirienko is the one who is going to win the overall today. As far as the 2 twins go, not as far as the title goes. Gusner is setting off the pace. She's the one doing the damage, Mike. I think she knows that skiing fast is the only way that she's going to compete. And I think her confidence raised a little from her shooting yesterday. I know she had one disaster, but otherwise she's been shooting much, much better.
Yeah, Gusner's pace. And look at Neuner here in the red bib. She clearly isn't comfortable. She's struggling with the pace a little.
Well, that's pretty rare. And normally you'd expect to see her out the front. But if she sat out yesterday, the chance of the overall winner's gone. Why is she going to risk racing today if she's still not 100%?
It baffles me as to why she didn't come along yesterday. Maybe they're saying, well, today, go out, take it within yourself, enjoy this race, and see if you can. If you do feel good, maybe you can open up and take the victory.
Now, I wonder how concerned the rest of the athletes will be to see Gusner storming away at the front of the field. As you can see, they're not really interested in following her. Gusner is going for a risky tactic here. She knows that she needs to be a long way clear come the last shoot, because that's where she usually lets herself down. The prone shooting has got better and better as the season goes on, so maybe she's just going to take the risk early on, try and build a lead, and just crack the rest with the pressure that she's applying.
And Gusner coming in, she must be feeling good after hitting 10 out of 10 yesterday. The wind in the prone.
Just going to say, Mike, the wind has completely switched from yesterday. Yesterday it was a headwind, but it alternated between coming from the front left and the front right. The new construction of the jump here certainly has an effect on the wind in the range, and the fact that it's buried in the side of the hill. If it's a headwind, it drops down onto the targets. Now, you had some thoughts about the telltale flags.
Well, that's right. You've got flags 5 meters from here, the firing point, and then 20 meters back from the target. I would like to see another row of flags in the middle of the range, or just back from middle, say at 20 meters.
Well, in the old days, as we watch early misses, Ekholm again can't hit a prone target. Something is desperately wrong with Ekholm's prone, and I wonder whether that's nerves or whether it's just her position. There's some work needed. Makarainen misses 2. Tora Berger is clear, so the season is not over quite yet. Remember, Makarainen has to finish in the top 21 to ensure that she wins the title, and Berger will really relish this situation. She goes out in third. It's Andrea Henkel who leads at the moment. Ilova, who's been shooting like a dream over the last couple of weeks, is in second. That's Vita Simirienko in fourth. Good run from her initially. Zaitseva, Bagali, nice to see Michaela Ponza of Italy coming through in seventh. And I'm just looking for Miriam Gusner, who set the pace, did the damage early on.
Well, isn't that interesting? Miriam Gusner, she's the youngest in this lineup of the great, the best 30 in the season. She attacked into the prone shooting, but she's gone and missed 2.
Neuner has missed 1 and has already completed her loop. She's 25.9 seconds behind. There you see the top 10 all shooting the perfect fight. Sarah Studebaker, her shooting has come on a mile this season. That's great to see her compete. We need the Americans to be producing results on the tour. There's no doubt about that. Andrea Henkel it is who leads after the first of 4 shoots. Welcome back to Oslo, the familiar figure of Andrea Henkel. No one would begrudge her a victory today, followed by Tora Berger. And there are many of you have sent in emails always wanting Tora Berger to win. I don't know what it is. Some say that she's more of a machine than a skier. It's just her attitude, isn't it, Mike? The fact that she will run herself into the ground for the sake of half a second.
She's quite an amazing athlete, Tora Berger. In fact, I think she'll close down on, well, she was 4 seconds behind Henkel, who's leading. I think she'll close that down. I think it's the little terrier, the little fighter in her that everyone can associate with. She just pushes harder than anyone else out there on the tracks.
Or appears to. It's just the high tempo, the body position, the facial expressions that make you think she's working hard. She is a grafter, there's no doubt. And Mike, those of you that weren't with us for the first shoot, if you've just joined us, we can tell you that Neuner has missed, Gusner has missed, but Helena Ekholm, who has for the last 3 seasons been the best shot on the tour, again missing in the prone. Hillary Keats sending in an email saying, how are you going to sort out her prone shooting?
I find it amazing. Ekholm is the best shot, you could say, men and women in the world, but she is having problems with her prone. You've got the alignment in the standing, which she is so good at, and that's all you're doing in the prone. You're just bringing the sights over the circular target, getting the equal amount of light around your sights and the target. I don't know what's happening. It's a psychological thing, I think.
19 going through. That's Catherine Hitzer, who really hit the scene with a storm 4 or 5 years ago. Was noticeable for her bow legs, which I think came from an early career in football, and hasn't really developed into as strong an athlete as we were expecting.
Well, she's had to, remember, she's had these for what, 3 seasons now. She's had very big problems with her heels and her ankle, just above the inside of the left ankle bone, and they've tried specialists, they've tried inner soles, they've tried so much, but she never seems to get over these problems.
And if it means you miss training, particularly in the summer months, the chances of doing well in this winter season are much reduced. Here they go through 4.3. Remember, it's a 12.5-kilometer race, so they're at the third marker at the moment, and a comfortable lead at the moment for Henkel.
I was just watching, Patrick. Look at Henkel's rifle. Now, look at the rotation. Every time she raises her left arm, the barrel of the rifle, which is the heaviest part, really does fly way over to her right side.
Yeah, that left carrying strap looks to be loose, particularly when she leads with the left hand. Tora Bergers isn't exactly steady, though.
Well, that's right, but it's more in line with the spine, and that's where it's at its most efficient. If you let it float way over left and right, you really are fighting against the momentum of the rifle.
Do you prefer to carry yours high or low?
You've got a much more free feeling when the barrel is high, but I would preferred it low because it kept your center point of balance slightly lower. It was smoother all round.
And there's no doubt that the biathletes developed the V2 technique much earlier than cross-country because it reduced the amount of swing on the rifle.
Exactly that reason, and that's why the tempo is a little slower in biathlon. They are equally as fast when you take the rifles off, but you need to be more efficient with the rifle.
I think some would argue with that statement, but we've always wanted. I tell you what, I would love the final day of the season, or maybe the Monday after the Sunday, to get Bjørgen and Neuner going head-to-head, both fully fit, because everyone wants to know who would be quicker.
It would be great to see. Harald there is just preparing for Henkel coming in. She had a great 0. It was interesting, I think, if you lined up Svensson, Tarjei Bo, Bjørn Dalen, he's off pace at the moment, but Lars Berger against any of the Norwegian best cross-country skiers, they'd give them a good run for their money. Maybe only Northug would beat them.
I sense a little bit of bias there. I think you cannot underestimate how good Petter Northug is when it comes to a sprint finish. Even Svensson would struggle to match the speed. We saw that yesterday. It was not quite the same as the cross-country sprint finishes. Now, Henkel, shoot number 2 in the prone position again. 33 years old now. It's her 13th season on the tour. No talk of retiring. I guess as long as Tim Burke stays on the tour, Andrea Henkel will be quite happy to stay with it. Must make a difference having your partner in the vicinity as opposed to on the other side of the Atlantic. Good start from Henkel. It's a really rhythmical shoot up until number 4, and that has cost her. Now, a chance for Begali. First miss from Tora Berger, and the second. Begali, 4 out of 4, 5 out of 5. Isn't it strange? The Russians are suddenly coming good. Berger's missed 3, and there goes perhaps her chance of winning the overall. This is so reminiscent of 2007 when Henkel won the title, having missed 4 prone on the very first shot, and we assumed she'd thrown it away. But then everyone else who was in a position to win the overall suddenly cracked.
Isn't it amazing? Tora Berger, had she hit the 5 there, she had a chance, as you say, but the pressure, this whole culmination of 4 months of racing, on one moment, the pressure is in the minds.
Well, Neuner's moving up through the order. She's hit 5. Both the Similienkos have hit 5. Here we go with Mäkäräinen. Missed 2 on the first prone. Remember, top 21. She was down in 26th after the first shoot.
Playing it very steady and safe there, Mäkäräinen. I think that's a good strategy. Ekholm missed 2 again.
Yeah, I think the coaches will have just said, look, calm down, take it easy, treat it as a training run. You will finish in the top 15, even if you take take the skiing at your training pace. And I think Mäkäräinen is just going to squeeze inside the top 20 this time. There she is. in yellow. A little glance over the shoulder, no doubt trying to track Tora Berger and Helena Ekholm. Now, what's happened to Ekholm second time round?
Incredible. She's missed 2 targets. Again, she's only hit 60% of her prone targets.
4 misses in all from Ekholm out of the 10. So now she needs to just up the level with her standing shoot. Andrea Henkel, 1 miss, throws away her lead, but still in 3rd position, just 15 seconds off the leader. Welcome back to Oslo. The halfway marker just about reached in the women's Masstart, their final race of the season. And no, you're not seeing things. Russia are in 1st and 2nd place. It's been a really good performance by Begali so far. Domrasheva in 3. We got Henkel in 4. Neuner coming up behind in around 6th position at the moment. So it's all about Russia and Germany at the front, with Belarus squeezed in between.
You're just saying there, Patrick, Russia 1 and 2 at the moment. I cannot think of, in fact, there hasn't been a season in the last 25 years where there's only 1 Russian ranked in the top 15 of the world. Top 15 athletes, you get your accommodation paid for, your travel paid for. It is a big deal for teams to get their athletes in the top 15. And it's only Zaitseva who's ranked 13th.
Well, bearing that in mind, we need to just track Ann-Kristin Flatland, Vita Similienko, Miriam Gosner and Ekaterina Orlova, because they are the ones who are right on that borderline for top 15 in the World Cup. Really important, particularly for the Russians. I think Flatland will find that the funding is there. The Norwegians always throwing it in. Actually, a really interesting email coming in yesterday saying what would happen if we divided the points that the athletes win by the finance that their team has. Who would come out on top? Well, I tell you, Finland by a mile, because Makarainen didn't even have enough money to train with a team, didn't have any team training right through the summer. That's how dedicated she's been.
Oh, she's just incredible. And then Johannes Obererlacher, he was down there in Austria when they were down at their glacier camp, and they said, we need some help for this camp. It worked so well that they said, yep, please come and help us, stay with us. He has created magic. He's given Makarainen the confidence that she hasn't had the last few years.
Up to 6.8 kilometers. Now, if you were with us through the World Championships, you may remember Lee Jackson joining me in the commentary box for a couple of the races, and I suggested it's not a good move to lead into the range for the last shoot, and he dismissed it as hogwash. I've looked at enough results, Mike, to know that the leader into the range on the last shoot seldom wins unless they've got a good gap of 45, 50 seconds. Even then, people like Arndt Pfeiffer are capable of throwing that away. Do you agree? Is there a psychological factor?
Oh, there definitely is, and I think you have to then go to the statistics. It happens so many times where if the lead athlete is in only by, as you say, 4 or 5 seconds, it does something to you. You do have more to lose. The guy chasing has more to gain and less pressure. I'm in second. I'll try and do my best.
Well, there's no doubt that Neuner is not her normal self. She's struggling a little. So let's give her credit for putting the skis on today. But I still don't quite understand why she didn't do it yesterday and then pull out today if she felt terrible. But that's all history. It's just really selfish because I just wanted to have that cracking final race where the winner between Makarainen and Neuner stood tall with a crystal globe this evening.
But you know, the doctors and the Germans, all of the best teams have a doctor. They pay for a doctor traveling with them all the time, and that's why he's there, to advise and to check out the athletes and make sure that they're not going to do some damage. So clearly she couldn't have taken part yesterday. New coaches for the Russians. In the relay last Sunday, as the relay was underway, they sacked their women's coach. Prior to that, they sacked the head coach. So new coaching staff brought in.
Now, do they take the credit for the good results so far today, or do the old coaches take the credit?
I honestly think, Patrick, it's a little bit of pressure's off. You know, we were supposed to perform last weekend. It's lovely here in Oslo. The pressure's away. The fans aren't shouting for you to win. The pressure's off.
And I tell you what, they're not as tired as they were at the start of the World Championships, because the training has come right down. A lot of travelling, so not really much opportunity to put in the training hours. So Begali and Zaitseva both on the range. We've got Andrea Henkel, of course, for Germany. Daria Domracheva for Belarus, going very steady. Good shooting from Begali so far. One more for her. Down it goes. Well, that's put some pressure on Zaitseva, and as soon as number 5 went down for Begali, Zaitseva threw one wide. Domracheva slow and sure. Very good shooting. Henkel gets number 5 as well. Those with the experience just taking their time. Neuner, what a transition from her standing shoot. I know she's missed the last one, but up until the beginning of this year, you wouldn't put too much money on her hitting 3 out of 5, let alone 5.
And you know, as she says, it's her psychologist that has played a big part. Rico Gross has played a huge part in the technique and how to stabilize the rifle, but her psychologist plays the bigger part.
Now, Kaiser Makarainen just looking for Tora Berger. Mike, she missed 3 on that second prone, so she was down in 16th, just a couple of meters behind Makarainen.
Into range, well, she should be in soon.
Yeah, she's just taken her place on the mat, actually.
Yep, 124 behind.
Yeah. Makarainen is clear of the range. Those 2 penalties, as you can see, for the Finn. Now a chance for Berger to come back a little.
You just sense it's going to be fast from Berger, but missed the second. On the 4th.
Now, Andrea Henkel is going... where's Andrea Henkel at the moment? She's come out in 3rd. Henkel was only 6 points behind Helena Ekholm in the World Cup standings. She was only 9 points behind Tora Berger. And the way things stand at the moment, it's going to be Andrea Henkel who finishes in runners-up position, which an extraordinary turn. As we watch Ekholm clear 5. That's better. That's much better. But work needed on the prone shoot. Grigorin, good season from Grigorin. Mike, I don't think we've given her enough credit as the season's gone on.
Oh, she's done that. She's had a great season. Shooting has let her down. She's always skiing up there in the top 5, the top 7.
Yeah, she's 20 places ahead of her teammate Andrea Marley, and Marley for so long the number 1 from Slovenia. Begali Titovets, 5 out of 5 on 3 consecutive occasions, puts her in the lead, but it's a slim lead, 8.8 seconds over Domracheva. Welcome back to Oslo. This is building to a good climax. Andrea Henkel just going through 8.3 kilometers, chasing 2 Russians, or a Belarus and a Russian. Domracheva it is with the lead at the moment. She's been skiing very well indeed. Here comes Zaitseva. '18 is Svetlana Sleptseva. This is extraordinary, isn't it, Mike? 3 Russians in the top 5. We haven't seen that at any stage this season. And sure, I understand that the pressure is off now that the World Championships are over, and we all know how home pressure can have a detrimental effect as opposed to a positive one, particularly in biathlon. But there must be some other factor. There must be something to do with the fact that the training before the World Championships was too hard.
There has to be. I'm absolutely with you, but there's not much that a new coach can do in 7 days except just build the confidence back for the team. Maybe have created a few different sessions, just relax the team. There's not much he could have done in this 7 days, but whatever he has done, whatever he's put together, it's brought this team to the top so far. And in fact, only 5 athletes have shot the perfect score, and 2 of them are Russians. So 3 of them, in fact.
Yeah, we've got Guseva and Vita Similienko have both gone clear so far, and Begali has also shot 15 out of 15 further down the order. Poor shooting coming in from Tora Berger, 0-3-3. Her title hopes have gone. So finishing the season with a bang, but not the sort of bang that she would have wanted. It's a real shame because consistency's been her trademark. Plus, of course, those 4 wins that she got in January in the space of 8 days. And she got 5 wins out of 6 races in Ruhpolding, Antolz, and then, of course, over in Presqu'île in the United States. Domracheva Begali 6.3 behind. Well, it's still pretty close. Zaitseva and Slepceva have got to hope that the leaders miss at least 2 shots. Each penalty lap today taking about 26 seconds. So we're looking at 52 seconds for 2 missed shots. And Domracheva hasn't looked like missing so far.
Well, she's absolutely flying, Patrick. She left the range some 8 seconds behind the Russians, Bogali Titovic. She's taken that, plus pulled back a further 6 seconds, so she's absolutely flying on the tracks.
Yeah, she did actually miss one on the first prone. Yesterday, she went 2-0-1-2, missed 2 on the last stand. She can ill afford that today because she's got some hungry athletes right behind her.
She hasn't had a win this season. She's had, 6 times 3rd position. Yeah, and twice she's been 2nd.
Yeah, and the last 3 races, she hasn't been off the podium, so no doubt she's hit her best form. Strange, that happened last year after the Olympics, went to Kontiolahti, got 2 wins in succession. Those were the first 2 in the World Cup, her career. So you feel 4 out of 5 should be enough. Now she needs the next 4. Even she is susceptible to pressure. Well, that's a strange combination of targets, but she does go central, left, left, then over to the right, and has 2 penalty loops to play. Begali, was in the driving seat for a moment. If she can clear 4, she has cleared 4, so Begali should be the first away, but there will be a chase because Domracheva just a little bit quicker. Henkel's chance of a win, it's still there, but I think it's looking pretty slim at the moment, and one of these 2 could come through to steal the win. Is it a good thing to have your teammate alongside you, or is that a distraction?
They're just absolutely together with their drills.
Slepceva wearing 18, Zaitseva, we should say. The emphasis on the penultimate syllable. Oh, I think she thought it was down. Now a chance for Zaitseva. She clears the 5, and still, I was going to say no one's clear, but Begali goes clear, so Russia are going 1 and 2. They could have 3 in the top 4 unless Neuner comes through. No, a mistake from Neuner rules her out. Bachmann misses 1. The first one's gone wide. Now the Simirienko twins looking for 5 out of 5 just to cap what's been a very good season for them. They've done so much racing. It's Vita with the advantage at the moment. Number 5, the hardest. Down it goes. She's in the running for a top 3.
Well, unbelievable. And Bachmann there, that's Tina Bachmann not looking stable, and not even for a millisecond on the stand position.
Now let's enjoy a performance of someone who has been outstanding for 4 seasons in the standing position. Ekholm, 3 out of 3, 4 out of 4. Nice way to finish the season, and that makes up for a couple of those misses early on. Mäkäräinen now, can she claim the title in style? She'd love to have got another win, but winning has not been the main emphasis of her season. It's all about consistency. It was a tremendous comeback yesterday, Mike, to get herself up into the top 4. Really, that ruled out Magdalena Neuner from a possible win.
It did, and Mäkäräinen there, you could see her struggling, and what she did yesterday to move up from 20th to 4th, the lack of confidence she had on Thursday in the sprint race, it's coming back now.
Now, Andrea Henkel, I may have missed her. I think she's gone through in 4th place. At the moment, just check up on her. She has gone through in 4th, and if she stays there, she's going to pick up some good points, Andrea Henkel, and could move up into 2nd in the standings.
Well, another 3 millimeters to the right, and that target would have gone down. But only 2 athletes at the moment, Guseva and Shemerenko, Vita that is, who've hit the perfect 20 out of 20. Domracheva chasing Bogali Titovic. I think she'll catch, in fact she has caught her already. It was 8 seconds, and she's passed her quickly.
Domracheva might also come under a little pressure from Olga Zaitseva behind. And Andrea Henkel started 29 seconds behind the leader, started 21 seconds down on Daria Domracheva. I don't think she's going to catch her. But Gali won't give this one up too easy. The Oslo course, Mike, it does give those fighters an opportunity because it's a series of 3 climbs before that long descent into the stadium. And you know you're going to get a rest before the sprint finish.
Well, that's it. And Bogali Titovic, she's pushing herself over her comfort zone, way past her comfort zone exactly for that. There's a long downhill section coming up. Zaitseva's closed. In fact, she's lost 2 seconds. But that's it now to Domracheva. Henkel was 4th. She's still going to be 4th, but being chased down by Sleptsova. I think Sleptsova might be able to pass Henkel. And well, Neuner from not feeling good, from definitely being withdrawn yesterday through health problems. I think she's done a great job today. She's 6th at the moment, and that's missing 3 targets. Normally she'd be leading, missing only 3 targets. Beautiful, smooth, efficient movements there from Domracheva, leading this one now by 5 seconds.
Domracheva lying 6th in the World Cup standings before today. She's over 60 points behind Neuner in 5th position, so it won't make any difference to her position, but it will make a difference to her career statistics. Always nice to get a win in a season, so you don't go with long periods like someone like Mickey Grice, who hasn't had a win for 2 years. He must be wondering what he's got to do to get a victory. Bjorndalen might be in that state of affairs next year. He hasn't won for a while, but he does race this afternoon. Missed out on the pursuit, so do tune in for that. We start at 1500 UK time for the men's mass start.
Bogali Titovic, she realizes there's still hope, there's still a chance. Domracheva going way over to the left side. The snow less broken up there. She's now moving into the shade, which should be faster. On her absolute limit at the moment. Needs to keep it strong. Beautiful technique. Look at the way she drops through the right side, bringing the left knee way underneath her to get the efficiency of the transfer of weight.
I don't think the dynamic kick that we saw at the end of last season is there quite at the moment. It's a very smooth technique, but just maybe a bit more punch at the end of the stride would give her a little bit more speed. But Gali Titovic goes through in 2nd. She got a couple of top 10s early in the season. In fact, she's only had 3 top 10s all year. So this is by far and away the best performance from Bogali. Domracheva, as we've mentioned, yet to get a win, but it looks more and more likely. She's got a 40-meter gap now over the Russian, and surely she won't throw that away. 500 meters to go, and the first 200 is gradual downhill. Time to recover for the sprint finish if it turns into that. Well, that's a great feeling, isn't it, Mike? She's had a quick look through the legs. She can see Bogali in the distance. And now just one little climb, 2 corners, and then the road bridge to negotiate before she crosses the line to pick up the 60 points and, of course, the money involved for the win.
I think she'll be a very popular winner if she keeps hold of this one, Patrick. She's certainly one of the most famous ever athletes in Belarus. So popular.
It's been a long, hard struggle, and this one, I guess, is for Klaus Siebert, who has been a coach over the last couple of seasons. He's worked wonders. He's gone through some agony with Domracheva being in a winning position and shooting the wrong targets, making mistakes, shooting prone when she should be shooting stand. It's been an agonizing time for him, but he's been ill all the way through the season. We wish Klaus well, but if he's watching this, he will be, certainly he'll have a few tears in his eyes, because Domracheva is a real grafter, immensely popular, as Mike says. And here she comes, just over 30 minutes for the 12.5 kilometers. Great shooting from Domracheva, 1:00, a little shaky on the last stand with 2 misses, but she's out-skied Bogali over the last 2.5 to claim victory #1 for this season.
Oh, job well done, and to miss 2 on your last time into the range, but with her fantastic ski speed, completely left Bogali Titovic behind.
Bogali, well, she'll be delighted with that. Still not in her prime fitness, but so much better than what we saw in Russia. And I tell you what, the population in Khanty-Mansiysk will be watching this wondering, why, oh why, couldn't you do this 10 days ago?
Look at that, a silver and a bronze for the Russians today, one week later.
Andrea Henkel getting a good cheer. Good season. By my calculation, Henkel goes from 4th up into 2nd in the World Cup standings to finish in the top 3 yet again. My goodness, what a servant. Germany certainly don't want her to retire over the summer months. They're going to have to keep her sweet somehow. Henkel 4, Sleps of a 5, so 3 Russians in the top 5. And Magdalena Neuner, she may be ill. There's no doubt that she's not herself, Mike. She's only missed 3. Normally she can win missing 3.
Oh, she's definitely not well, and credit to Neuner for taking part today and doing so well. 6th position, brilliant.
Good sprint finish from Ekholm of Sweden, 7th place for her. So she gets 36 points, moves on to, I think she moves on to 9.72 or 9.71, which will put her 1 place behind Andrea Henkel. So it is desperately close in those top positions. Ekholm, well, she let herself down again with the prone shooting, 2.2.00. It's becoming a familiar score for Ekholm. She needs to turn that round.
Berger should be coming in soon. Remember, she went 0.330. The last time in for shooting was 0.
Well, we'll pick Tora Berger up. We should be able to see her from a mile, just that distinct technique. I think that's her at the back of this group of 4, just behind Kaisa Mäkäräinen, who is the champion for 2011. Congratulations to her, congratulations to the whole of the Finnish outfit. Let's hope that they get a bundle more sponsorship for next year. She's done Finland proud, and as you say, Mike, it's a long time since they've achieved this sort of feat in biathlon.
Incredible, and it really is. It's about one person in the Finnish team this year. The others, they haven't lifted their game. I think they will now next year with the belief that they can take the overall title.
Miriam Gusner 13th, the lady that led the first lap far too fast. I think she was throwing caution to the wind, just trying it out. Why not experiment at this time of the year? Nice to see Gasparina Switzerland into the top 20 again. Great season for her. She just needs a bigger team to support her. Ponza 18th, started the season dreadfully, but has come back well, and hopefully that will encourage her to stay on for another year of fighting it out on the biathlon tracks. Studebaker of USA. What about Studebaker's shooting, Mike?
Well, it started so beautifully well. 0.000, then 1 penalty lap on the last stand shoot.
Vita Simirienko, the only one to have gone clear. In fact, Natalia Guseva has gone clear for Russia as well. Both of those two 20 out of 20. Slightly surprised because Simirienko, her skiing must have dropped off over the last 48 hours. Otherwise, she would have been in the top 3.
And her twin sister, with missing 3, only, what are we looking, 6 seconds behind her.
Yesterday's winner down in 26th position. But it's all really about, obviously, Dumrasheva's win, but Kaisa Mäkäräinen, what do you say about her season?
I think she's kept her nerve. She's with her fantastic season. She said she was not plagued by any injuries or missed any training days. So she's one of these very dedicated athletes who feel bad about missing any moment. Everything has gone so well for her, and well, 3 victories, but consistently top 10.
And Christine Flatland trying to get some life into the crowd. Now, that's a disappointing run for Flatland. Remember, she was lying in 15th place in the World Cup standings. She might just have dropped down to 16th. Vita Simirienko might have nipped her to that 15th place. And in fact, certainly Ukraine need the money more than the Norwegians. So I don't think anyone will be too upset about that. But what about Mäkäräinen? She got her first ever win on day 2 of the season. She only got 3 wins this season, but 14 top 5 finishes, which is superb. And of course, she took the gold medal in the pursuit in the World Championships. Today, she wraps up the season by becoming the World Cup champion. Well, great scenes here in Oslo. Beautiful sunshine to finish the season. This is the time of year. If you want to visit Oslo, this is the time to go. You can get the t-shirt on and just do a quick ski around the Holmenkollen laps, past the Frognersetten Cafe to Sonja Vartan. It's just a stunning, stunning area. And what's so amazing, Mike, is that they maintain mile upon mile of perfectly groomed tracks.
I think it has to be, for me, certainly one of the best places to go to. You just get the tram up the hill and you're out skiing, clip the skis on, and you can ski endlessly at the top of this hill.
The French will be sad that Brunet didn't race today. This is Anaïs Bescon just coming across the line. 2-1-1-4. It all went wrong on the last shoot. In fact, it never really went right, but 8 misses in all put her out of contention. And Avelie Sauer of Estonia coming through. Now here's a team that could do with some funds as well. They've done exceptionally well. So 30th out of 30, and the shooting really, it went wrong to start with. 3 misses on the first prone. I think that's enough to knock the stuffing out of any athlete. 7 misses in all for Avelie Sauer.
And Avelie can do much better than that, so, but she's taking it in good spirit. She tried her best, just didn't happen on the shooting range for her today.
Yeah, it's a season that has produced a few new names. Mac Ryan and above all coming through to take the win. And I think the most important thing about Mac Ryan and Mike is the fact that she has been so dedicated. Not only has she trained on her own all the way through the summer, developing new techniques for learning how to shoot, but also when the conditions aren't right at home, she travels abroad to train. And no more so than that when she came back from the States, got home, it was -30. She said, this is not the way to prepare for the World Championships. Jumped straight on a plane, down a Roop holding. Her dedication is second to none, and for that alone she deserves the title.
Oh, and it does pay for any athletes or any athletes in any sport. The dedication, it really does account for so much, and that's why she's won this one.
So let's have a look at the top 3 from today. The Russians really are the shock of this mass start, the last race of the season. After a dismal World Championships, they have produced a stunning race. They've got 3 in the top 5, and they've got 4 in the top 8. Astonishing. Zaitseva in 3rd. Begali Titovets, who led out of the range after the last shoot, but just didn't have the legs. She gets 2nd. And of course, we know about the winner, Daria Domracheva. Well, that's all from the women here in Oslo. We're going straight back to Falun, where David Goldstrom is ready to cast his expertise over the men's final race of the year. Petter Northug, I think, is just going to be showboating today on the way around the tracks. Everyone intrigued to know what he's going to get up to, because the final tour is pretty much his, although he won't win the overall World Cup title this year. Daria Domracheva, the star of the show in the last race of the season. A popular winner, no doubt. But it's Kaisa Mäkäräinen of Finland who has won the overall World Cup title for the very first time. Well, we'll be back with the men's race in just under an hour and a quarter. I hope you've got time to stay with us for that. Of course, the finale, it's a Svensson and Terje Bo showdown in the men's mass start. They're the only 2 now that can win the overall World Cup title. Terje Bo very much the favourite. Thanks for your company. We'll see you a little later on. But good from Oslo. Goodbye for now.